You have a unique background, obviously, born and raised in Egypt, in a Muslim culture there in Egypt. Talk about how your experiences there as a young man, and you saw the likes of the Muslim Brotherhood up close. How did that kind of help shape your worldview about the enemy we're facing right now?
Well, we always lived under that threat. In fact, I remember one time in the 60s, even though Nasser, at the time the president of Egypt, put them in prison and so forth, extremists were going around and putting the letter N, meaning Nasserite, on the Christians' homes, so that when the time comes, they said, we come in and behead you first. And so there was always that tension, always that, and it ebbs and flows depending who's in power. And I really commend the Egyptian government of Sisi right now. They're trying very hard, but this is so insidious and it's so pervading in all of the provinces and all
the Brotherhood,
the institutions.
ISIS now,
yes,
ISIS
exactly.
affiliates.
Yeah. Well, you see, the Muslim Brotherhood president Morsi brought these terrorists from all over the world during the 12 months rule. He brought them from Yemen, from Libya, from Afghanistan, and he put them in the Sinai desert, and he looked at his army chief and he said, don't you dare turn on me because I can have them destroy the army. And that's what's happening now. He did it then, so the army said, okay, we're going to help you out. And they put him under house arrest. But now they've been battling since 2013. This ISIS that is bringing weapons and armaments from all over the world into Sinai. And then, of course, they're supported by Hamas from Gaza, the tunnels where they're bringing all kinds of weapons. And so this is a very precarious war. It's not going to be overnight.
Yeah, and the Brotherhood is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to modern day Islamic jihadism, Dr. Youssef. Talk about Egypt being kind of a bulwark against Islamic terror there, and I take it over the border. You mentioned the Sinai, Gaza, to Israel. Where does Israel fit in this battle for Western civilization that you talk about in your book, The Barbarians Are Here? Where does Israel fit in that?
The worst thing that could happen if you get Islamists from south into Gaza, Hezbollah in the north, and start marching on Jerusalem. Guess what? The president of Turkey, who fancies himself as a caliphate himself, and so it's really kind of leadership war. They're fighting for that. He's now calling upon the Muslims to march on Jerusalem. And I thought, what a predicament you put the Israeli government in if that ever happens. And so we need to keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem, because Israel is really the canary in the coal mine. I remember growing up, they used to have a motto that goes like this: we're going to finish Saturday, and we're going to come back and finish Sunday. We're going to, first the Jews, then the Christians. I remember one guy saying to me, well, I didn't come back to church because I couldn't get a good parking space. Give me a break. Christians are dying in the Middle East and in Pakistan and in Indonesia, suffering for Christ, and you're worried about, and we have become so pampered and in our comfort zones. And I pray that God doesn't have to resort to the point of putting us really, we're already in exile, but really bring that exile into the forefront.
Thanks again to Dr. Michael Youssef for a great interview, and be sure to pick up his book, The Barbarians Are Here. It is a must-read for such a time as this. Well, coming up after the break, we head to Jerusalem to get the inside story on how your brothers and sisters in Christ are laying down their lives for Jesus in the heart of the Middle East. Folks, you will not want to miss this. It's very important. Stick around.